And good evening from Crampton Bowl in Montgomery as Thursday Night Lights returns to the capital city, where tonight it's a Class 7A Region 2 matchup as the 4-0 Auburn Tigers take on the 0-3 Lee Montgomery Generals. And good evening, everyone. Mickey Shaddricks along with Coach Rick Rhodes. And, Coach, these two teams bring a lot of tradition into Crampton Bowl tonight. However, this year, it's like we got two teams going in seemingly two different directions.
Well, to this point, they are going in opposite directions for sure. Auburn, the number one ranked 7A team in the state. Lee has not won yet this year. On paper, it doesn't look like much of a matchup, but it's not played on paper, Mickey. It's going to be played on that field.
That's the way it works. Let's take a look at key players for tonight's 7A Region 2 matchup.
Well, first of all, for Auburn, their senior running back, D.V. Williams, 462 yards on the year, and outstanding 7.7 yards per carry with 4 TDs. For Lee Montgomery, the senior free safety, Julius Johnson, number 44, real speedy defensive back, great break on the ball. He'll be very, very important to the general defense.
And our key players presented by Luma Dentistry. When we come back, we will take a look at the blueprint to victory for both teams as you're watching the AHSAA Game of the Week presented by Am First. And back at Crampton Bowl in Montgomery, getting set for the kickoff, Auburn and Lee Montgomery. Coach, time to take a look at our blueprints to victory presented by Rob Walker Architects, LLC. They believe the architect's role extends beyond the traditional services. They serve as a close advisor and partner to the clients for the entire process. Break them down for us tonight, Coach.
Well, first of all, for Auburn, they are a very smart football team. They know what they're playing against. They're not going to get too high for this game, but they must take a business-like, methodical approach, and they want to take care of that football. That's how upsets happen. For Lee of Montgomery, they got to play their best game of the year. They're going to have to get some big plays. They are going to have to create some turnovers, and it's going to take a great effort if they're going to pull off the upset.
Blueprints to victory presented by Rob Walker Architects. And we will have the kickoff from Crampton Bowl when we come back on the AHSAA Game of the Week presented by Am First. Between Lee Montgomery and the Auburn Tigers, our second visit to Crampton Bowl already this year. You may recall we were here for the AHSAA kickoff. 2 games were played here, including the Auburn Tigers. Coach, you did that game with Hoover. They edged the Bucks in a close game there. There you see their head coach, Keith Etheridge, who has really had an incredible career. He has won 5 state championships in 3 different classifications. His overall record, 160 and 55, and his team is off to a 4-0 start this year as Auburn's trying to get back to the state championship game.
And he's also been selected as the head coach for the Alabama team in the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game.
And across the way, he will be opposed tonight by Dre Quay Everett in his first season as head coach at Lee Montgomery.
Yeah, the former defensive lineman at Alabama State University, 0-3 on the year. Has been at Lee a long time, since 2014, was elevated, and this is his first season as the head coach. They lost 25 seniors last year, so they knew it was going to be a rebuilding year. And good, solid football man. I'm sure he'll get the Generals going in the right direction, but he's got a tough chore tonight.
Ironically, only one common opponent between these two teams, and the scores were identical. Auburn beat Dothan 42-14. Lee Montgomery lost to Dothan 42-14, and we are underway. The Generals receive the opening kickoff, and there you see James Sanders taken down. Good kick coverage by the Tigers.
Yeah, we ran right up the chute, and a nice greeting right there, right at about the 25-yard line. Excuse me, the 17-yard line.
And there you see quarterback Bryson McGrew taking the field, leading the Lee Montgomery offense, who is only averaging about 9.3 a game. They give up about 37.6, and not the kind of numbers you want to see, and obviously a big reason why they're off to the 0-3 start with losses to Sidney Lanier, Dothan, as we said, and also Opelika got them good last week, 51-7. So first play from scrimmage is at the 17-yard line, and we are underway. Thanks for joining us tonight on the AHSAA game of the week. There's Sanders, a young man who fielded the kickoff. Unable to get much going there is Marcella Jofferson able to wrap him up. Or should say Wyatt Trexler on the tackle. And here's the starting offense for the Lee Montgomery Generals. We mentioned James Sanders, the young man that carried the ball just a moment ago, and then of course the quarterback Bryson McGrew. And there you see the rest of the starters, including the wide receivers and the offensive line. And the snap back into the end zone. It's going to be a touchback. So a disastrous beginning to this one for the Generals.
Well, that was a line drive over the head of the center fielder right here. Nope, but to the side. You can see still calling signals right there, and the ball is snapped prematurely, and McGrew falls on it. Rather than give up two than risk that ball bouncing around for a touchdown. So it didn't take long for Auburn to get on the board.
By way of the safety. So the Tigers take a 2-0 lead. And really that's, Coach, that's just a self-inflicted wound by Lee.
That's about as self-inflicted as it gets. I mean, that was I said it was a line drive over the head. There was a ball about 2 feet outside of the strike zone, and McGrew could not adjust to it. He was still looking to his left to call some signals right there. Of course, they'll do their best to get that communicated and taken care of on the sideline. Of course, now Lee will have to kick off. From their 20-yard line.
Which means the Tigers will likely wind up with very good field position. As you see, Brighton Miller, the kicker for Lee Montgomery.
Well, this thing has started just about the way you want to if you're wearing blue and white. I mean, we've played 51 seconds, and the Tigers are already on the board and fixing to get the football.
So the Tigers looking to get good field position out of this exchange as the Generals go with a punt. It hits the ground at the 40. Then it is picked up by Kel Ingram. And Ingram is wrapped up there.
I saw a flag come in late, I think. We do have a marker. Look right there at Clyde Pittman, who set a school record for passing percentage last year. Completed almost 73% of his passes, which is excellent threw for 2,055 yards and 29 TDs. That was also a school record. So a lot of experience there, and I'm sure we'll see young Mr. Harson as well. Davis Harson, the junior quarterback.
So a long delay here.
After the penalty, it's 1st and 10 at the 28.
Yeah, it's a 15-yarder, blocking the back or holding, something like that.
Here we go. 1st and 10, Tigers at their own 28 as we resume action. Bunch set to the right to the short side of the field. And the Tigers will run it on 1st down. That is their outstanding running back, D.V. Williams, on the carry.
Yeah, I got in that tight bunch to the top of your screen and showed a little screen action there, but gave the ball off on a straight zone as we look at the Auburn offense.
Williams coming in, averaging almost 8 yards a carry, has got 4 touchdowns on the season, and as Coach mentioned, the starting quarterback, Clyde Pittman, the 6', 190-pound senior, who looks to throw on 2nd down. Pass is dropped at the 41-yard line. It was intended for Logan Blomeyer. And here's a look at your starting defensive lineup for Lee Montgomery, a bunch that will be tested tonight by a very disciplined and balanced Auburn offense that comes into this game with some pretty good numbers on the offensive side. They've scored a lot of points through their first 4 games of the season. 3rd down and 9, and we have another flag.
Well, I can tell you one thing I know for sure, Mickey. That number 90, Orlando Rhodes, that guy's a player.
On the offense, we break 3rd down. After the penalty, 3rd and 14.
Did you catch my drift there?
From the
Shoot, we're related. Rhodes.
Of course.
R-H-O-A-D-E-S.
Of course.
There aren't many of us around.
So how about this opportunity for Lee's defense? 3rd and 14 as they try to get off the field. They come after with the blitz as they come after the quarterback, but the football comes loose, and it's jumped on, I believe, by Braden Joyner, the outstanding offensive lineman who is committed to the Auburn Tigers, and get another look at the play.
Well, Lee brings the house, and it's a screen, which is the right call, but this is really a nice job by J.C. Woods. Gets off the block, strips the ball loose. Just a really good one-on-one play by him, and brings up this 4th and 15. Now, if you're Coach Etheridge right now, you're not very happy. You know, sometimes when you're big favorites and you get a break early in a game, it's one of the worst things that can happen. Auburn certainly didn't execute very well at all in that series. On the other side of the field, if you're Draquay Everett, you're pretty pumped up because your guys have played lights out that first series defensively.
And the Tigers to punt as they just get it out of there. And it will take a bit of an Auburn roll across midfield inside the 40. And will roll dead just inside the 35-yard line. Nice kick there by Javarion Rogers of Lee Montgomery. Or that was a return man, I should say. So the Generals do get it back as quarterback Bryson McGrew leads his offense back out on the field. And all things considered, nice stop by the defense after giving up the safety.
Yeah, very much so. And as I said, Coach Everett's got to like what he saw from his defensive unit. Now he'll see if the Generals can get something going offensively.
So 1st down at the 34. 1st down pass is caught. That's James Sanders. Good run after the catch. It is an Amherst 1st down, our first of the game, and it comes by way of the pass as McGrew finds Sanders.
Well, this is well protected, well thrown, and a nice route by Sanders. It was a little choice route. He turned to the inside, and that ball was right on the money.
So 1st down out at the 49. Bruce swings it out. And a big hit delivered that time by Auburn's Coleman Granberry on the receiver, Jaden Hill. And a look at the starting Auburn defense.
Yeah, just a swing route to the outside. Good pursuit, but another good gain for Robert E. Lee.
So 2nd down and 6, pickup of 4 yards as Lee has invaded Auburn territory for the first time tonight. D's in motion and reverses course. McGrew back to throw. Tigers rush 5. McGrew takes off. Good decision. Slides down at around the 37. Should be another first down for the Generals.
Well, one of the things that Auburn showed against Hoover in our game earlier was a really ferocious pass rush and the ability to blitz. But Lee has picked it up really without a flaw so far. And of course, when you've got a quarterback that can run like McGrew can do, that can cause you some problems. And Lee Montgomery right now has got something going.
First down at the Auburn 37. McGrew takes the snap, takes off inside the 30. He is wrapped up from behind by Auburn's Coleman Granberry, but another nice pickup on first down.
Yeah, motion the running back opposite the quarterback movement kind of froze those linebackers just a little bit. The left side of the Lee line did a little pin and pull action and got the edge sealed, and a nice gain for the Generals.
Pickup of 8 yards makes it 2nd down and 2. They swing it out, same play they ran a moment ago. Good pursuit this time by the Auburn defense. First man to arrive was Octavian Brown. Is James Sanders on the reception.
Yeah, this one's thrown backwards, which is a little bit dangerous. Good pursuit also inside out by Brendarian Hooks, forced the cutback, and a lot of white shirts there to make the play.
So it's 3rd down and 1 as the play gained only a yard. Much better defended that time by the Tiger defense. And we're going to have a whistle and officials timeout. 5:42 to play in the first quarter, just underway from Crampton Bowl.
Silicaga's best kept secret? No more. Harvey's on Noble is the place to go for the area's best food and drinks. Whether you're in the mood for steak, burgers, salad, seafood, or dessert, Harvey's on Noble will not disappoint, and the atmosphere is perfect for catching the big game or just relaxing after work. Harvey's is open for dinner Wednesday through Saturdays, so round up the family and we'll see you at Harvey's on Noble, downtown Silicaga.
Mr. President, Bessemer Superhighway is backed up. What are we going to do?
Are you serious? Get me the King Boys.
King Boys Towing is the fastest growing tow and recovery company in Birmingham and surrounding areas for one reason. Our customers are our top priority. Whether your car's been in an accident, it's stuck in the driveway and won't start, or you just need a tow to your preferred repair shop, give us a call. Our fleet of flatbed tow trucks will provide courteous and fast service. King Boys Towing, 205-428-3235.
And we're back, and we want to talk to you about Harvey's on Noble here in Silicaga. Coach, you are one of their biggest fans. What'd you have tonight?
Well, I had the catfish. That's one of my 2 staples, and it was outstanding as always. And I'm going to say again, if you live in this area and you don't get out to Harvey's, you're missing a bet, because it is a great place to go eat.
And I tell you, I love the burger with those onion straws. That is quite a taste.
Well, now last week you were a big fan of the chicken.
I love the chicken.
So,
yep.
All right. Well,
I haven't had anything I don't like.
I mean,
yet.
we can just go right down the list.
Absolutely. That is our first heat timeout of the night as we continue to have those. I believe this is the last week for that. By the way, the weather tonight in Montgomery, very pleasant. Kickoff, 79 degrees, no chance of rain in the forecast, and pretty much no wind to speak of. Quarterback Bryson McGrew out of the timeout. Not much on that carry.
Yeah, he dove for the first down sticks. I'm not sure that he got it, but the official signal that it is indeed a first down. Auburn brought some pressure. He avoids the first tackler and uses better judgment and dives for that first down.
Was aware of the needed yardage and got it. The first down is the new set of downs for the Generals. This is a very impressive drive here in the first quarter. McGrew takes the snap and And he is getting it done, Coach, with his legs here. That is another good gain on first down of about 6.
Yeah, it really is. And I've really been impressed with the Lee offensive line. That's that pin and pull again to the left side that they ran effectively earlier. And you can see they're gashing the Auburn defense pretty good right now.
So good start to this one for Mr. Bryson McGrew, despite the snafu on the snap that resulted in the safe a moment ago, as Lee Montgomery is now into the AFS red zone. First down or second down in about 2 inside the 20. McGrew looks to throw, passes away. It's caught at the 10, but dropped. I don't know if they're going to rule this incomplete. It was intended for Johnny Darby. Looked like he had it for a moment, and then the Auburn defender getting a hand in there.
Yeah, this is a nice job. Watch the Auburn defender get that hand in there, separate those 2 hands that are on the ball, and create the incompletion. That's a very savvy defensive play. Just because the ball's caught doesn't mean it's going to be a completion, which is what that shows right there.
Andrew King making the play for Auburn. But how about the pass there from McGrew? Right on the money again, Coach.
Right on the money is exactly the right word. I mean, it was very, very well thrown. He's been very accurate in his throws and has shown he can beat you with his legs. He's been impressive.
Third down and 3. McGrew passes away. It's caught inside the 20. Nice move by Sanders. That was an outstanding effort. It was only a couple of extra yards, but it was 2 very important yards.
Yeah, it really showed great body awareness now. Watch him slip this tackle. Makes a little move right back to the inside and gets his body weight going forward. And again, a really nice job by the Lee offensive line to give McGrew time to get the ball out. Of course, he's getting the ball out quick, too, as well, and it's another first down.
Yeah, that last little lunge that was why I said that was such important yardage. It resulted in another first down, and they don't have to deal with a 4th and short. Instead, it's 1st and 10. Good look at Auburn linebacker there, Coleman Granberry. And we've got a timeout taken by Lee Montgomery.
Of course, you know, one thing that is not insignificant is that we are under 4 minutes left in the first quarter, and Auburn's had the ball all of 3 plays.
So the Generals will take the timeout to talk things over with a new set of downs. 1st and 10. They are threatening to get their first points of the game. Hey, speaking of the game, after the big games tomorrow night, you can go by Big Time Entertainment in Oxford and take part in their 5th quarter. The $10 unlimited arcade card is hard to beat. You can play unlimited in the arcade with over 80 games available. Also an indoor go-kart arena, laser tag, 18 lanes of bowling, and much more. Big Time Entertainment, located off of I-20 at exit 185 in Oxford. And coming up at the conclusion of this one, we will announce our Big Time player of the game.
You know, Maggie, I was thinking that the Ninja Warrior course is for me, but I don't know. Those go-karts look pretty good.
Yeah, that's the picture there you see in the bottom right of your screen. Gives you a little flavor of what it's like in the go-kart arena, but it is truly a unique indoor go-kart.
Yeah, it looks like
arena.
That guy on the bottom of the screen is on 2 wheels. So.
Holding on for dear life, right? Well, Bryson McGrew getting it done here in this first quarter for his head coach, Draquay Everett, as Lee Montgomery putting together a very impressive drive as they are knocking on the door here, trying to answer the safety they gave up to Auburn on the first series of the game. Officials having a conference over the football.
Not exactly sure what this is about.
All right, here we go. Let them play, guys. 1st and 10. Generals at the 16-yard line of Auburn. McGrew pitches it. It's dropped and it's picked up by Granberry. He's going the other way, and Granberry is going to take this all the way back for a Harvey's on Noble touchdown.
Well, that one looked discombobulated from the start. It was that little counter move again. It looks like it was going to either be a pitch or an option, but there was no rhythm to the play at all. Auburn disrupts it. You can see, you see the cross action right there. The ball is tossed, stripped right there, and then the result is going to be all the way to the house and 6 points for the Auburn Tigers.
Boy, back-breaking play for Lee Montgomery as they put together an outstanding drive, and here's a Sonny King extra point for the Tigers, and it is good, which extends the Auburn lead to 9-0. And boy, what a demoralizing play for Lee Montgomery, and what a big play for that young man, Coleman Granberry. As we'll see, Coach, the miscues of Lee Montgomery have got him in the hole here early.
Yeah, they really have. There's of course the bad snap that led to the safety, and then again a beautiful drive that's going to go awry right here. You know, by a nice heads-up play by Auburn to strip the ball, and then of course once the defender gets his hands on the ball, why he's going to take it all the way to the house, and the end of that drive is 7 points for Auburn.
Credit Clark Cleveland, the senior linebacker. He was the young man with the initial penetration that blew that play up, and he also stripped the football loose. As you mentioned, it didn't look confusing from the snap.
Yeah, it was a little variation of what they'd been running the quarterback keep. They brought the wing back around, and they were going to toss it to him right here. I don't know if it's supposed to be an option play or not, but the ball is not thrown in rhythm, and I'm really not at all sure that Darby ever had control of it.
Of course, Clark Cleveland kind of made it look confusing the way he got upfield. And here's our Sarah kickoff for the Tigers. And it will sail into the end zone for a touchback. So now if you're Lee Montgomery, it's just a matter of keeping your wits about you. You put together a really solid drive with a chance to score and take the lead.
Well, and it's tough because you've got a very young football team that has not had much success, and now you really get you get a little something going, and it all blows up in your face. When you don't have a lot of experience, sometimes those things are hard to overcome. But let's see how they do. Maybe they'll go right back to work. They want to focus on what you have to as a football player is the next play, and just play it one play at a time.
Bryson McGrew has ran the ball well. When he's thrown it, he's been very accurate with his passes. So one positive for Lee is that their quarterback has been executing pretty well here in this first quarter. Let's see how they respond after the fumble return for the touchdown. They swing it out to Darrell Dees. Short gain there for the Generals.
It was a really nice play by Graham Young, the safety that rolled down and made a really nice open field tackle. Excuse me.
There you see Pete Davis, the junior defensive back, 6'180". Second down and 7. McGrew swings it out. Third time they've ran this play, but Auburn is all over it.
Yeah, they're going to have to start varying their passing game a little bit more now. They've really banged those flats, and Auburn is starting to draw a beat on it. You can see those linebackers and safeties and outside edge players. They're sitting those feet, and they're waiting to see the read, and now they're running to the football hard.
An odd first quarter for Lee. Their defense has been on the field one time, got a 3 and out, but they're down 9-0.
That would definitely fill the bill of an odd first quarter.
3rd and 7. Auburn shows blitz. They bring 5. McGrew tries to step out of the pocket, can't do so. The ball is loose. A flag is on the field as well. Likely a holding call going to go against the Generals, but we shall await the official announcement from our referee tonight.
Well, that's that pass rush that I talked about earlier. It's the first time really that we've seen it to any extent. Real good pressure by Sullivan, but especially by Adam Alriani, excuse me.
We got holding on offense. Penalty decline. 4th down.
So Auburn declines a penalty. No need to take it. They get the sack, and they're going to get the ball back as Lee Montgomery will have to punt. There you see Coach Everett. Got to be a little frustrated here the way this game has started as you get a look there at Auburn's Ian Nation going back to receive the kick as the Tigers look to get good field position out of this. And another flag.
Looks like there was some movement in the Lee front.
Dead ball. Ball start on the offense. Replay 4th down.
So Brighton Miller will line up and kick it again, as the Generals did have movement on the right end of the punt formation. So Miller will receive this snap from his own goal line. Auburn with a good rush. Somehow Miller got it out of there, but it is going to be a very short kick, needless to say, as it will only travel about 15 yards, and the Auburn Tigers are going to have outstanding field position already almost in the AFS red zone.
Well, Lee's punter was only aligned 11 yards deep, and of course you want to try to get the ball out in no more than a step and a half, especially from that close, and that time took about 4 steps to get it out, and very fortunate that punt wasn't blocked, but excellent field position for Auburn.
And so we have backup quarterback Davis Harson in the game. Hands off to Williams, and Williams spins his way down inside the 10-yard line, taken off his feet by Dylan Baker. But that is the first down for the Auburn Tiger offense.
If you watch the right side of your screen, you're going to see a huge hole that Williams is going to run through. Just very, very well blocked at the point of attack. And, of course, that young man certainly knows what to do once he hits that line of scrimmage.
So Harson, the backup quarterback, handling the quarterbacking duties here, and the handoff again to Williams, and he's going to go in for the Auburn touchdown. That'll be Williams' 5th rushing touchdown of the season and extends the Tiger lead here late in the first quarter. Well,
attack that left side again of the Auburn offensive line. Again, another well-blocked play, and a pretty good job of BYOB by Williams himself at the end of the play. Pretty good pop right there, and runs right through the safety. Of course, he was 5 yards deep in the end zone.
Williams came into the game with 462 yards rushing. Again, we mentioned averaging right at 8 yards a carry, as the Sonny King extra point is good. 16-0 now the lead for the Auburn Tigers. Another look at the touchdown.
Well, if you look at the far left side of your screen, you're going to see a nice seal, and then you see 2 pancake blocks by the left side of the Auburn line, and just really, really good physical blocking up front. Look at it again on the right side of your screen. You can see lots and lots of movement by those white jerseys, putting those black and red uniforms on the ground.
A couple of what they say pancake blocks going on there, Coach?
Those were about as pancake as they get. Yeah, of course, this team's ranked #1 in the state for a reason. A very talented team, lots of talent all over their roster, and after a slow start, took advantage of a couple of breaks and seem to have things moving pretty briskly right now as we look at all of the electronic equipment that we have in football now. Mm-hmm. Where is the chalkboard and the chalk? I think those days are long, long gone.
Locked up at your house, right?
Pretty hard to put your fist through the TV screen. It's much easier to put it through the chalkboard.
And your Sarah Automotive kickoff by the Auburn Tigers will be fielded inside the 10 by Sanders of Lee Montgomery, and Sanders with a nice return out across the 25 will be tackled at the 26-yard line. Helping out on the stop that time will be junior Jace Williams for the Auburn Tigers, and The Generals will come back onto the field. They've outgained Auburn's offense, by the way, in this first quarter and trail 16-0. Another odd stat here in this first quarter.
That is a little bit, all those numbers don't quite add up.
But as they say, the only statistic that matters is the one at the bottom of your screen.
That is exactly right. That's all that matters. They will try to get something going. They're going to have to attack the middle of the field a little bit more. Just about everything has been off tackle or wider.
McGrew fakes. Looks left, nothing there, and will just run out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage with 5 seconds remaining here in the first quarter.
Yeah, tried to run a little hitch route to the top of the screen. It wasn't there. He just pulled it down and tried to get something, but Auburn would have none of it and brings up this 2nd and 10.
Empty backfield, McGrew. Long look over the Auburn defense on 2nd down and 10. And a flag.
I don't know if we got a delay or.
Timeout before the delay of game. Timeout. Offense.
So Lee Montgomery burns their 2nd timeout to avoid a delay of game penalty with 5 seconds to go here in the first quarter. And we'll take this opportunity to look ahead to next week. Our AHSAA game of the week is a dandy. How about the start to the season for the Anniston Bulldogs? They had a thrilling victory last week on a wet surface on homecoming against a very good Jacksonville team. And they will have to travel to the Field of Champions to take on the Piedmont Bulldogs. Pretty much the cream of the crop in Class 3A. That should be a very good matchup next Thursday night.
Yeah, really well. Of course, Piedmont has been a fixture at the top of the heap in whatever classification they have been in over the last 10 years. Anniston, been a while since they've been right at the very top, but they're loaded this year. This is going to be a heck of a football game.
Anniston has been very impressive this year and got a lot of people talking around Calhoun County that this is the best Anniston team that they have had in quite a while. That will be a very good test for the Bulldogs next week. Good test for the Piedmont team as well. 2nd down and 10 out of the timeout. Tigers show blitz. 2 linebackers are coming. Picked up well, though. McGrew with time. Sanders was open, and he overshot him at about the 45-yard line. It was good coverage by the Auburn defensive back, Pete Davis, and that will take us to the end of the first quarter. Tigers taking advantage of some Lee Montgomery miscues. They've turned it into 16 points. Big lead after 1 here at Crampton Bowl.
The perfect checking account doesn't exist. Not at a bank, that is. So why do you keep looking there? At AmFirst, you can get no minimum balance or monthly fees, an instant issue debit card, and free checks with unlimited check writing. But who doesn't want more? Like a rewards program you'll actually use, and convenient digital tools that make it easy to manage your account from anywhere. Now you could try and find that at a bank, or you could save yourself the trouble by checking with us.
Mr. President, Bessemer Superhighway is backed up. What are we going to do?
Are you serious? Get me the King Boys.
King Boys Towing is the fastest growing tow and recovery company in Birmingham and surrounding areas for one reason. Our customers are our top priority. Whether your car's been in an accident, it's stuck in the driveway and won't start, or you just need a tow to your preferred repair shop, give us a call. Our fleet of flatbed tow trucks will provide courteous and fast service. King Boys Towing, 205-428-3235.
I was in a car accident. My front tooth cracked. I'm definitely embarrassed to smile. I got mini dental implants. It changed my life because it made me feel like me, Like, I can smile and feel like Ashley. I just want to say thank you.
You can be you again with Mini Dental Implants. I'm Dr. Rick Redmond. Call me today for a free consultation and give me the opportunity to change your life.
I'm more than happy. I'm ecstatic.
Well, less than 40 yards of total offense by the top-ranked team in Class 7A in that first quarter, yet they lead 16-0 over winless Lee Montgomery here at Crampton Bowl on the AHSAA Thursday night game of the week, presented by AmFirst. Mickey Shaddricks and Coach Rick Rhodes with you, and it is a 3rd down and 10 for Lee Montgomery as we begin the second quarter.
Well, and Lee obviously badly needs a first down and can keep this drive going.
McGrew looking, pocket collapses, and he just slides down 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So a sack for this Auburn defense is how the second quarter begins, and McGrew a little shaken up.
Looks like his right ankle or right knee. Auburn ran a twist. You're going to see it at the bottom of your screen right there. And number 55, Deuce White, the 240-pound junior, gets the initial pressure on McGrew. And it looks like he maybe rolled an ankle as he tried to slide to his right.
Protection breaking down in a hurry on that play. There is Brighton Miller. He's been a busy Lee player. Back out on the field to punt is Ian Nation awaiting the kick. Fair catch called for and made it to 46, so the Tigers will have good field position as their offense comes out to take the field here early in the second quarter. And, you know, Coach, let's take a look at the rankings for Class 7A. We've mentioned Auburn at the top of the heat right now with a perfect 4-0 record. Some really good football teams, as always, in that first 6 or 7 there was a pretty much who's who of who's anything in high school football in 7A.
Yeah, I think the big surprise is Fairhope at number 2. I knew they were going to have a good football team, but I don't think anybody saw them being that high in the rankings this early. And of course, the other surprise is who's at number 7. Kind of expect them to be at number 1, and of course they had that monster schedule at the start of the year, dropped 2 very early. Thompson did, but you know, the season's got a long way to go still, and of course they've got some very, very big games coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Opelika with the big win against Central Phoenix City last week.
Yep.
The only loss for the number 4 team. Opelika looks good. By the way, looking ahead, Auburn and Opelika meet in 2 weeks. That'll be a biggie.
That'll be a contest.
And here are the Tigers back on offense. Quarterback Clyde Pittman back in the game on this series. Throws downfield, and it is out of bounds at the 20-yard line. It was intended for Ian Nation, but that was very good coverage on the back end by the Generals.
Yeah, it really was. Stride for stride with the receiver. High point of the ball made it really almost impossible to catch.
Got holding on the offense. Replay second down.
Holding penalty on the Tigers as we see the replay.
Yeah, and that's a corner route off of a boot action to the left. That's a very difficult throw, and the ball was way late right there. I tell you, you know, Auburn is up by 16, but I've got a feeling Coach Etheridge is not real happy with what he's seen so far tonight. They just don't look like they're really in sync too much.
2nd and 24 after the penalty.
So the penalty makes it 2nd and 24, and another flag.
That ball encroaching on the defense. Replay second down.
5-yard penalty against the Generals will make it 2nd and 19 instead.
After the penalty, 2nd and 19.
You know, Mickey, I'm a little bit upset with you tonight. I mean, you haven't called Orlando Rhodes' name one time yet.
I'm saving it.
I mean, nah, call it. You know, I got to take care of family.
Orlando Rhodes making every tackle. Ball thrown downfield. Oh, receiver was streaking open in the seam. That was Logan Blomeyer, but pass a little too high.
Yeah, you know, you look at the setup right there, and you know, there's a thing called rushing, and that happens when a quarterback does not load up the backside before he starts his stride. And what happens is your upper body and your lower body kind of work against each other, and your brain tells your upper body to speed up. And that happened just a little bit that time, and that's one of the reasons why that ball was just slightly overthrown.
So 3rd down and 19, a chance for the Lee defense to get off the field. They bring some extra rushers. Boy, a big shot on the Auburn quarterback. And we've got flags all over the field.
Well, when you said a big shot, you weren't kidding, Mickey. I mean, this is one right to the chops, I think.
Got a flag back where the quarterback took the hit and a flag and where the pass was intended. First we see the shot there.
Yeah, that's going to be helmet to helmet.
Yeah, 2 defensive penalties here, I think, Coach. Pass interference and a personal foul hit on the quarterback.
We got 2 fouls on the play. We got pass interference, defense. We got personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense. It's going to be automatic first down.
So again, Coach Everett seeing his team, the miscues piling up for him here in this first half.
Yeah, and if you want a textbook of what roughing the passer is, that was it. Pretty big pop. But Mr. Pittman does not look any worse for wear.
Well, you never like to see those kind of hits, but you know what? The equipment did its job.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you know, a few years back there was a suggestion to take the face mask off of the helmet to get rid of these shots to the head. Obviously, whoever made that never wore a helmet.
Here is Williams, and a very good job there by the Lee defense as they did not let Williams get back to the line of scrimmage. They had great penetration on the play, which is about the only way to stop number 5.
Well, there's a lot of guys getting off blocks. You can see that's a linebacker that's unblocked. Now watch those black shirts run to the football right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right around the football. Just good defense by Lee that time.
So that makes it 2nd down and 13 as the play lost 3 yards back to the 49-yard line. Quick pass. It's caught at the 44. That is Marcellus Josephson on the reception.
Yeah, good sure open field tackle by Brendarian Hooks to hold that to just a 4 or 5 yard gain.
Amari Brown with the reception. Again, 6 yards.
4th catch of the year for Josephson. Makes it 3rd and 7. 3rd and 6, we'll call it. Again, Lee brings extra rushers, and they get to Pittman that time. The ball came out of his hand right as he took the hit from number 31, Jawante Hooks.
Yeah, they just overloaded the look right to the right of your screen. You can see that they popped that linebacker clean. They brought 4 from that side. There's only 3 blockers. Somebody's going to get through, and a great job of tackling from the top down that time by Hooks.
I'll tell you, a couple of shots on this drive taken by quarterback Clyde Pittman.
Yeah, he got popped pretty good that time again, and they've been able to do some damage with their pressure game.
Forces an Auburn punt. Tigers hope to pin the Generals back deep in their own territory, as this punt will hit at the 12 and kick back and take a little bit of a Lee roll, and it'll be down at the 14-yard line by Auburn's Ty Hudson. So the Generals offense will come back out with 8:29 to play here in our first half. Auburn still pitching a shutout here at Crampton Bowl, 16-0. And hey, I want to take this opportunity to remind you of another great game coming your way tomorrow night. It's the Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week on My 68. 7 o'clock kickoff from Lamar Field in Oxford. Pinson Valley, who gave Clay Chalkville all they could handle last week, will take their game on the road. Tough place to play at Lamar Field. Those two have played some really good games the last few years. That should be a dandy on My 68, 7 o'clock kickoff tomorrow night. And the game also re-airs over the weekend on WOTM. Downfield it goes. McGrew laid it right in there. Flag flies. The receiver could not hold on to it. That was Johnny Darby, the intended receiver, but we could have a pass interference penalty coming here against the Tigers.
Got pass interference on the defense. Gonna be a first down.
Yeah, it looked like that Andrew King had a hold of that left arm tugging on it, and almost a really spectacular catch, but the resulting interference call is going to give Lee Montgomery a big first down.
Lee will take any break they can get at this point, down 16-0.
You betcha.
And good to see this young man, Bryson McGrew, came up a little gimpy on the last series. Okay, handoff up the middle. And not much on this running play as Gerald Bonner wrapped up for virtually no gain, and another good play there by linebacker Coleman Granberry, who had the big fumble return for the touchdown.
Yeah, Auburn jumped into bare front where they covered all the down linemen, and Lee was not able to get a linebacker, or excuse me, a guard up to the linebacker, and Granberry was unblocked and did just what a linebacker is supposed to do, met the ball right in the hole for a nice defensive play.
2nd down and 9 from the 31. McGrew, little option play to the right, and nothing doing as Bonner can't escape the grasp of Octavian Brown, who came up in good run support that time.
Well, this is the same play that fumbled earlier, and this looks more like an option play, but still not blocked very well on the perimeter. You can see that the block that's attempted by Darrell Dees is really just kind of destroyed by good defensive leverage and pursuit by Octavian Brown.
So 3rd down and 9 for the Generals. McGrew had no chance. The pocket just collapsed on him too quickly, and he had no opportunity to look downfield, and it'll be 4th down.
Yeah, real good speed rush off of the right edge of the Auburn defense. Looking at the right side of your screen, you're going to see it late, but just a good speed rush to the outside. You know, I want to say that was number 14, Cade Rayburn. Use that good speed to get right around the left tackle from Lee, and Etheridge had no chance.
So here's Miller on to punt. Line drive kick taken at the 49-yard line by Nation. Breaks one tackle and just is tripped up, or he might have gone the distance. He was tripped up by Antoine Barnes of Lee Montgomery, but the Tigers will be sitting pretty here already in Lee territory on this possession as well.
Got heat timeout.
And we're going to have our 2nd quarter mandatory heat timeout. 5:57 to play here in the first half. Auburn with the lead, win the ball when we come back to Cramptonville.
Retirement planning, investment planning, education planning, ad valorem, blah, 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 blah. Financial planners love to show their version of a perfect retirement, but what about your perfect retirement? At AM First Financial, we'll get to know you first, so we can make a plan for the person you'll be years from now, and future you will be glad we planned ahead. So call AM First Financial today. You'll thank you later.
Right Way Auto is offering cash on the spot for cars, trucks, and SUVs. Our inventory is low, and to turn that around, we are buying pre-owned vehicles in good shape. Visit our 2 locations today on the Motor Mile in Anniston or Highway 21 in Mumford. We will buy your car even if you don't buy ours. Right Way Auto is offering cash on the spot for cars, trucks, and SUVs. Cash on the spot today for your vehicle at Right Way Auto Sales in Anniston and Mumford.
And we'd like to thank our friends at King Boys Towing and Recovering. I tell you what, there's a lot of muscle in this group right here. And they bring it every Thursday on the AHSAA Game of the Week, helping us get our lifts out on location at the stadium, like tonight here at Crampton Bowl. And, Coach, I know you've already got those guys pinpointed with positions.
Well, no, I gave you an assignment now.
Well, hey, I think I know what you got. You got 4 linemen, as we see the first down on the run here by Logan Blomeyer. I think you got 4 interior linemen in that group.
Yeah.
And then you got look like you got some linebackers there. Probably got at least 1 receiver, maybe a quarterback. Am I anywhere in the neighborhood?
No, you're good. I mean, the quarterback is to your far left. He's on the phone.
Okay.
I mean that's quarterback.
Now, your quarterback wouldn't be on the phone.
Absolutely. No. Well, unless he was getting a play from the box. I mean,
Williams, did somebody get him by the face mask? One official says yes.
Either that or he has quite a pivot move, leaving with his face. Now, our truck says they got him by the jersey, so let's see. Let's see who's right.
Well, the official's going to be right, but I think the truck may also be right.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Hard to tell. We didn't have the best angle.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense.
The official is always correct.
Well, the official is always the official. So
yeah, the last word.
Yes.
Well, maybe not, because you were a coach. You kept barking even after you didn't get your way. You still.
Well, a lot of coaches do. I never did.
No, of course not.
Well,
I think he may have got the face mask after the jersey. Actually, the way I see that replay.
That head did snap around pretty good.
It is a 1st and 10. They can get a first down at the 1. Harson's in the game, by the way, or they can just get a touchdown on first down, which is what they just did. The Harvey's on Noble touchdown. Beautiful pass by Harson to Nation, and Auburn extending the lead here in the second quarter.
Yeah, well, Harson came into the game with pretty good stats for a back. I mean, and the thing on the fade, you want to throw it over the outside shoulder, which is exactly what happens right there. And you can see why the defender has no chance. When that ball is elevated and lofted like that, it's just like dropping something into a bucket, and the defender, he can't get over the receiver to get to the ball. Just a really, really well-thrown ball by Harson, and a nice catch on the receiving end as well.
And the Sonny King extra point from Towns McGow is good, and it's 23-0 Auburn. I tell you, that was a beautiful pass by Harson.
Yeah.
Could you have thrown that any better?
No, you really can't. That's one of those things you practice by putting a trash can at the back of the end zone and dropping it into that trash can. Just really well done. Of course, Harson came in 19-31, 61% completion percentage, 313 yards and 2 TDs. And you can see why. I mean, that's really a beautiful ball. And you saw the reaction of the lead defensive back. That's the way it always is right there. What am I going to do? Nothing you can do.
Perfect pass beats really good coverage there.
I heard Bobby Bowden talk years and years ago about the importance of having the ability to throw the fade, because it's the great equalizer. You can't blitz it. You can't defend it. I mean, if you can throw that from anywhere in the field, it can get you out of a lot of tight spots, and of course it also can break the back of the defense, which is exactly what happened right there.
And your Sarah Automotive kickoff, as McGow waits for the official signal, and here is the Sarah Automotive kick, taken by Sanders right at the goal line. Sanders up across the 25, wrapped up by Auburn's Ty Hudson, the sophomore on special teams. So Lee Montgomery down 23-0, take over 1st and 10, 4:48 here to play in the first half.
Mickey, I'm sure you already know this, but I'll share it with you. You know that the Troy teams I was associated with, we're responsible for the 3 longest pass completions in Gulf South Conference history. 99-yard fade for a touchdown, a 97-yard fade for a touchdown, and then when I was defensive coordinator, we gave up a 90-yard wheel route to West Alabama. So there you go.
Wow. Interesting.
I like the first 2 better than the third one.
Yeah, I bet you did. Here's the option play, and that is Bonner. A short gain of 3 out to the 30.
Yeah, that was a little better executed. The thing you try to do in that option play is to get your running back on the free safety, and that time the free safety was able to come up and hold the thing to a 3-yard gain. But before they hadn't been able to get to that edge. That time Lee got to the edge just a little bit.
Second down and 7 for the Generals. McGrew, pass over the middle, incomplete, intercepted right into the hands of Auburn's Graham Young, and he returns it inside the 5-yard line. Boy, that should have been a completion. Instead, it is another turnover. Auburn in the AFS red zone. They're going to have a 1st and goal.
Well, this is a classic example of being a young team. This is a little choice route, a stick concept that is really very well executed, except the receiver does not get his hands up early. They're the last thing to come up. He tries to bring his hands up and catch the ball at the same time. Ball comes off his hands, goes in the air, perfect interception. Defensive back is right where he's supposed to be, and Auburn takes advantage of that miscue and runs it down for what very well could be yet another score for the Tigers.
1st and goal. Here's Williams. And Williams gets a great block by Marquise Washington, and he's in for the Harveys on Noble touchdown, his 2nd of the first half.
Yeah, that was really a heads-up play on the interception by Graham Young, the senior defensive back at Auburn. Didn't waste any time taking advantage of it. There's the counter right there. You can see excellent blocks, and Williams just walks in.
So 2 touchdowns on the night for D.V. Williams. He has 6 on the season, and the Sonny King extra point is good, and that extends the Auburn lead to 30-0. I tell you, Coach, somebody's got to help out Mr. Bryson McGrew. He's putting the ball right on the money here.
Yeah, well, again, if you look at the receiver, again, those hands are carried low, and he tries to bring them up as the ball's coming to him. You know, you've got a lateral pass that you're trying to catch with vertical hands, and that's a very, very tough catch. You know, you got to get those hands behind the ball and look it in, and Auburn knew exactly what to do with it and turned it into points real quick.
By the way, I want to correct something. Great block by Eric Patrick, the senior offensive lineman, who basically gave Williams that block at the goal line that enabled him just to walk in untouched.
Very good. Well, it's 30-0, but really, I mean, Lee has not played that badly. I mean, they've just made some very crucial mistakes that have led directly to 21 points.
So Towns McGow with the Sarah Automotive kickoff. Booms this one. It'll be a touchback. So the Generals will set up shop 1st and 10 with 3:49 to play here in the first half. They have 1 timeout, and their quarterback, Bryson McGrew, all things considered, he had the 1 snap where Auburn got the safety to begin the game. Not sure whose fault that was. He just wasn't ready for the snap. Other than that, this young man has done well. He's ran the ball well. I can't think of 1 bad pass he's thrown.
No, he's really shown some escapability and running ability. I mean, he's been a bright spot for sure.
First down at the 20. McGrew, option play. And a yard, maybe 2, as Bonner stretches out as far as he can. But again, Auburn they seem to, the Auburn defense now, Coach, after that 1 really good drive by Lee, the Auburn defense seems to have really taken it up a notch now.
Yeah, they have. You know, they try to get outside again. Octavian Brown, the edge player to that side, avoided the block, got upfield in a hurry, turned it right back in like you're supposed to, and a whole host of white shirts there to make the play.
2nd down and 8. McGrew looks to throw. passes away and caught at the 26. Sanders with a nice run after the catch. Tackle made by Auburn's Clark Cleveland. First down, though. First down for the Generals.
Yeah, well executed play. Well blocked up front. A nice slant route, and that ball was delivered right where you want it, right in that front armpit below the pads where it's an easy catch.
Again, another very accurate throw from McGrew.
Yeah, he's thrown the ball well tonight.
Going to have a timeout taken here.
Offense.
That'll be the final timeout of the half for Lee Montgomery. And we'll take a look at the Class 5A rankings heading into this week's play. You see UMS Wright and Leeds. Also Gunnersville, Moody, and Arab, the undefeated teams there in the top 10.
Pretty salty bunch of 5A schools this year. Mickey, of course, UMS Wright with a big win over Gulf Shores last week. I got a feeling those two may see each other again. This is a very, very tough division. There's some really, really good teams. UMS Wright and Leeds, that'd be a heck of a matchup. But I mean, there's a lot of good teams in that top 10.
And we will have this game re-air on WOTM on Saturday at 3 p.m. UMS Wright and Viger, a huge game down in South Alabama.
Yep. Of course, perennial power against the defending state champions. That's a pretty nice little matchup.
Absolutely. An added treat this weekend for you here on WOTM. 1st and 10 for the Generals. No more timeouts, but they do have some time. Pass downfield, pass is picked. Not a good ball that time as Pete Davis with the interception and the return. Darrell Dees tackles him, but another Lee turnover. And Coach, just as we were bragging about this young man, that is the first poorly thrown ball he's thrown here in the first half.
Yeah, it looks like he's grabbing that ankle again. Well, that was a corner route. You teach that defensive back to that side to try to split the difference. It's called a zone point, to where you take away the deep ball and break up on the short ball. And that time, Davis just sat there and read the action, and when the ball was thrown deep, broke on it just like you're supposed to. Just an excellent play on his part.
Here's McGrew on the replay, gets the pass away.
And you can see that Davis, who is the corner to that side, and the safety both would have intercepted it. Just not able to get a push off that corner route to make anything happen. Just trying to stretch the field, work a little bit deeper, but very well defended by Auburn.
And McGrew helped off the field by his head coach. Auburn takes over with 2:12 to play here in the first half, a chance to add to their lead before halftime. It's Pittman with a pitch to Blomeyer, and he is ahead for about a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, ran the speed sweep again. A really great closing by Denzel Connor from his interior line position. Got down that line of scrimmage really quick and made a nice inside-out hit.
Second down and 7. Football spotted at the 22. Pittman passes away and caught at the 20. That is Nation, and he fights forward. Should have the Amherst first down, depending on the spot. Tackle made that time by Tormund LaPrade.
Yeah, just a little hitch route and nice little move after the catch. Here you see the hitch, a little stutter move.
And it is an Amherst first down inside the 15. This is Williams on the carry, and Williams will be cut down at the 6-yard line as Auburn in the AFS red zone going to be facing a second down and short as we tick under 1 minute to play here in our first half.
Boy, a really nice surge by the Auburn offensive line that time. They knocked those black shirts off the ball, and really Williams was untouched until he was about 5 yards deep into the secondary.
Second down and 2. Tigers with all 3 of their timeouts as they are taking their time here, running some clock. Second down and 2. Pittman's pass is caught by Blomeyer, and he gets a good block from Josephson, and he is in for the touchdown.
Well, ran the quick screen off that motion action right there, and good blocking at the point of attack, and put 6 more on the board for the Tigers. You see Blomeyer right there just kind of backpedals out, lets those 2 blockers in front set the edge for him, and then picks his spot and takes it in for the score.
And the Sonny King extra point from McGow is good. 37-0 here. The top-ranked team in 7A. Closing this first half strong. Forcing a couple of turnovers in this second quarter, turning them into touchdowns. 3 touchdowns here in this second quarter to go with the 2 they scored in the first quarter along with the safety, and it's 37-0.
You know, they've been I think they're a little rough in the early going, but they've been kind of like what we talked about in the opening. Been very, very methodical, very businesslike, and they've just gone about their business, which is, you know, with the games they have coming up after this, exactly what I'm sure Coach Etheridge wanted out of tonight.
Auburn will have a non-region matchup next week against Ramsey. They will host Ramsey, then they will host Opelika. We mentioned that earlier. That's going to be a huge game in 7A Region 2 as Coach Etheridge sees his team taking care of business so far tonight, though. The Sarah Automotive kickoff will be another touchback, so the Generals will come out first and 10. 15 seconds to go here in the first half. Ramsey, by the way, was in that 5A top 10 that we looked at just a moment ago.
Yeah, and that'll be a big step up for Ramsey. But you know, when you've got a good football team, sometimes you want to test, see how you match up with the best that you can find.
I think Lee will be content to get to the locker room and regroup here. And a big hole here at halftime. Coach Etheridge, you mentioned it, at one point Auburn was up 16-0, but you could tell he wasn't really enthused about how his team was playing. I think he's got to feel a little bit better about this second quarter.
Yeah, he's got a little more spring in his step right now than he had earlier. They've kind of righted the ship. Good to see McGrew back out there.
Absolutely. Looks to put it in the air on first down. He's got time this time. Lobs it downfield. And it's another interception to the same player, Pete Davis. Second interception, and Davis is going to return this one all the way down to the half-yard line, and that will bring us to the end of the first half.
Well, there are reasons why coaches teach quarterbacks do not throw the ball late down the middle of the field, and that's one of the reasons right there. Lots of defenders in that part of the field.
Nearly another touchdown on a pick 6, but we'll go to break and come back with some Holtzford highlights and much more as we'll have halftime for you from Crampton Bowl on the AHSAA Thursday night game of the week, presented by Amherst.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Alabama. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the AHSAA.
Are you ready for some football? Then WOTM is the place for you. On Thursday nights at 7 p.m., veteran broadcaster Mickey Shadrick and former high school state champion and collegiate national champion Coach Rick Rhodes bring you live coverage of the AHSAA TV Network Game of the Week, presented by AmFirst. Friday nights at 7 p.m., it's the TV24 Game of the Week, presented by Sunny King Ford. And the action continues Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. with an encore presentation. Drummond's Company, Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, right here on WOTM.
Retirement planning, investment planning, education planning, ad valorem, blah, 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 blah. Financial planners love to show their version of a perfect retirement, but what about your perfect retirement? At AmFirst Financial, we'll get to know you first, so we can make a plan for the person you'll be years from now, and future you will be glad we planned ahead. So call AmFirst Financial today. You'll thank you later.
You know, Tony, it's almost that time of year again.
Well, we already know the outcome. Roll Tide.
No, not that game. I'm talking about scoring the #1 truck in America for the last 45 years, the Ford F-150. Right now, you can order a new 2023 Ford F-150 at Sunny King Ford with absolutely no deposit. Choose the features you need and the extras you want.
Only at Sunny King Ford.
That's right, Sunny King Ford, on the sunny side of the street, Anniston, Oxford.
Now that's a catch.
Sylacauga's best kept secret? No more. Harvey's on Noble is the place to go for the area's best food and drinks. Whether you're in the mood for steak, burgers, salad, seafood, or dessert, Harvey's on Noble will not disappoint, and the atmosphere is perfect for catching the big game or just relaxing after work. Harvey's is open for dinner Wednesday through Saturdays, so round up the family and we'll see you at Harvey's on Noble, downtown Sylacauga.
It's the end of summer payment vacation happening now at Sarah Honda in Sylacauga. Summer may be coming to an end, but your payments can still take a vacation. Make no payments until the end of the year and get 1.9% APR financing during the end of summer payment vacation sales event happening now at sarahhonda.net and at Sarah Honda on Highway 280 in Sylacauga. Disclaimer with dealer preferred lender. Credit approval may require money down. 1.9% for 60 months and $1,748 for $1,000 financed, regardless of down payment. Visit dealer for details.
Back at Crampton Bowl in Montgomery, we are at halftime of our AHSAA Game of the Week between Lee Montgomery and the Auburn Tigers. Time now for Susan Scott Carruthers, host of AHSAA Weekly. She will have highlights from around the state gathered by David Holtzford.
Welcome to AHSAA Highlights for the Week, compiled by Coordinator of Social Media, David Holtzford. Let's get right into the action. Defending Class 6A football champion Clay Chalkville traveled to Pinson Valley last week, riding an 18-game winning streak. The expected high-scoring contest turned out to be a real defensive battle, however. We pick up the action with Clay Chalkville leading 8-0 in the second quarter when Pinson quarterback Kiwan Posey throws an 8-yard jump pass to TJ Metcalf, who goes higher than his defender to make the catch. That catch pulled the Indians to within 2 points at 8-6. The unbeaten Cougars were able to escape with the win thanks to a 58-yard touchdown by Rodriguez Johnson to put the Cougars in front 14-6. Pinson managed a late touchdown when Posey sped 28 yards on the keeper for the score, but Clay Chalkville foiled the 2-point try to preserve the 14-12 Class 6A Region 6 win and extended the AHSAA's longest current football winning streak to 19 in a row. Continuing the action in Class 6A, we'll pick up with Hueytown hosting Hillcrest High School from Tuscaloosa in a Region 4 contest. Also expected to be an offensive shootout. This game was all that and more as both teams combined for 98 points as the visiting Patriots 4-0 knocked off the 2021 Class 6A runner-up Gophers 54-44. Hillcrest got the scoring party started early with talented quarterback Ethan Crawford connecting with Bryson Kimbrough for a 12-yard touchdown pass. Later in the first quarter, Hillcrest gets on the board again with this 38-yard run by Jamarian Johnson. Fast forwarding to the third quarter, Hillcrest extends a 34-28 lead with a screen pass from Crawford to Jamarcus Price, who breaks a tackle by rolling over the Hueytown defender, keeping his balance and then scoots into the end zone. Crawford puts the game away later in the second half, racing 92 yards after another touchdown as Hillcrest closes out the 54-44 win. Next, we head to the Hoover Met as we look in on Class 7A Region 3 battle between the Vestavia Hills Rebels and the Hoover Bucks. Considered one of the top school rivalries in the state, this one was all of that and more. The Rebels took on an early 7-0 lead with a 1-yard run by running back Houston Owen. Then Hoover tied the game at 7-7 on a 6-yard pass from Brewer Smith to Amari Williams. But Vestavia would take the lead right back when Luke Turner passes to William Tonsmeyer on a 13-yard touchdown connection. Hoover would score the final 13 points of the game, however, with a rushing touchdown by Kamal Anderson and Lamarian McCammon for 5 and 7 yards out, respectively. McCammon's touchdown sealed the 2014 win with 1:16 remaining to improve to 3-1 on the season. We remain in Class 7A, heading to Opelika for the Region 2 headliner featuring the Bulldogs and Central Phoenix City. Another defensive battle ensued with Opelika's Ja'Cory Thornton and Caden Cooper scoring touchdowns for the Bulldogs to take the 14-7 lead. Central tied the game late with Jalen Epps' 3-yard run. And we pick up the action with Opelika lining up for a field goal in regulation to win the game. But Central comes up with a huge blocked kick and sends the game into overtime. The Bulldogs come up with an interception during the Red Devils' offensive series in the extra period, and Opelika coach Eric Speakman called on place kicker Johnny Cecina to kick the game-winning 25-yard field goal as the Bulldogs snapped a 6-game losing streak to the Red Devils with a 17-14 win. Moving to Class 3A, we head to Northeast Alabama to find defending Class 3A state champion Piedmont taking on Plainsview. Piedmont senior quarterback Jack Hayes, who is closing in on the all-time AHSAA state record for career passing yards and total touchdowns, used his running ability to rush for 106 yards and 3 touchdowns as the Bulldogs built a 21-0 lead early before the Bears clawed back to within 1 touchdown. Piedmont got late touchdowns from Ishmael Bethel and Rolly Pinto as the Bulldogs post a 34-21 victory in the Class 3A Region 6 win. Defensively, Brody Epps and Rhett Alford had 14 and 11 tackles respectively to seal the victory. With weather forcing 109 games to be played on Thursday night last week, we head to Mobile County for a Class 6A Region 1 battle at Saraland between the Spartans and the Spanish Fort Toros. It was one of the 82 games to be played on Friday night last week. Spanish Fort opened the scoring with a 60-yard touchdown run by Sawyer Wilson. Saraland responded with a 43-yard touchdown run by Sante McWilliams Jr. to tie the game. Later in the fourth quarter, with Saraland holding on to a slim lead, quarterback KJ Lacey finds Ryan Williams for a 43-yard touchdown pass as Saraland rolls to victory at 35-24. There was also plenty of volleyball action across the state last week. We head to the Shoals area to check in on Shoals Christian and Covenant Christian in Class 1A action. Covenant Christian wins the match 3-1 and closed out an outstanding week, winning 7 matches over Class 3A Colbert Heights and Phil Campbell, and then beat Red Bay, Colbert Heights, Russellville, and host Bell Green in the Bell Green Invitational Tournament. Ashley Gann had 91 kills, 50 digs, 33 blocks, and 9 aces to lead the Eagles. Zoe Griffin added 48 kills, 22 digs, and 7 aces. Thanks again to David Holtzford and our AHSAA Schools and NFHS Network broadcast program for providing these exciting highlights each week.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Alabama, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
There's a lot in life to smile about. Are loose dentures or missing teeth keeping you from enjoying the things you love? Don't miss out on enjoying life's precious moments. You can be you again with affordable mini dental implants. You can smile again, laugh out loud, and have your self-confidence back. Let us help you make it memorable.
I'm Dr. Rick Redmond. Call me today for a free consultation and give me the opportunity to change your life.
You know, Tony, it's almost that time of year again.
Well, we already know the outcome. Roll Tide.
No, not that game. I'm talking about scoring the #1 truck in America for the last 45 years, the Ford F-150. Right now, you can order a new 2023 Ford F-150 at Sonny King Ford with absolutely no deposit. Choose the features you need and the extras you want.
Only at Sonny King Ford.
That's right, Sonny King Ford, on the sunny side of the street, Anniston, Oxford.
Now that's a catch.
And welcome back to Crampton Bowl in Montgomery, the AHSAA Thursday night game of the week, presented by AmFirst. And it is all the Auburn Tigers, the top-ranked team in Class 7A, and a 7A Region 2 battle tonight with Lee Montgomery, flexing their muscles with a comfortable lead here at intermission. Mickey Shadricks along with Coach Rhodes. Coach, a lot of miscues there by Lee Montgomery. Auburn seemed to take advantage of every opportunity.
Yeah, they really did. They were very opportunistic. And as you said, showed their power when they had to as well. But, yeah, you know, Lee had some bright spots. They got a nice drive early. They had some plays that had some potential, but just really too much Auburn Tiger football in this first half.
Well, Coach, let's, while we're awaiting the second half, let's kind of start in Class 1A and work our way up. You know, this is a time of year when you're in the middle of region play and you're starting to learn a lot more about various teams and various classifications. This is Class 1A, of course, with Elba ranked #1.
Well, of course, some familiar names there, some really legendary names. Elba, Brantley, Sweetwater, I don't want to leave anybody out, but Leroy ranked second. I wouldn't say that's a surprise, but that's as good as they have done in a while. Linden, you know, good solid program. You know, from 1 through 10, I mean, that's a pretty good looking division.
And slide up to Class 2A, and who else but the 5 Red Devils there atop the 2A rankings. No surprise there.
You know, the Flying Squadron from Highland Home,
yes.
Right up there in the thick of it. You know, Ayrton Pisgah, BB Comer from in Sylacauga is in your top 5 right there, and Lynette, of course, who was a power in 1A, back up in 2A. They're in the top 10, and but you know, as you said, Fife is. You know, that's the guy you got to beat if you want to be the state champions in Alabama if you're in their classification, and they're atop those rankings like they usually are.
And BB Comer, a big game with Benson coming up on Friday night, both undefeated in region play. Class 3A, we see the Piedmont Bulldogs in a familiar position, ranked #1. We will have Piedmont next week in a very good non-region matchup with the Anniston Bulldogs, but along with Piedmont, again, another solid list of teams there that a lot of people recognize.
Yeah, and Jack Hayes, who seems like this must be his 15th year as the starting quarterback at Piedmont. I believe this is his senior year, so that'll be good. There you see the game right there. Mickey, that's going to be a good one.
Next Thursday night, we'll have it for you here on the AHSAA Thursday night game of the week. And there you see the full top 10 there in Class 3A. And moving on to Class 4A, Montgomery Catholic, a lot of 4-0 teams there, Coach. Hanley, off to another good start this year. Of course, Andalusia down in the south, Aniana, Anniston right there in the thick of it in Class 4A. Good to see the Bulldogs in the top 10. And, you know, Jacksonville there at #9 lost a heartbreaker to Anniston last week.
Yeah, that's a loaded division. I mean, obviously, if you're in the top 10 in the state, you're a good football team. But, you know, your top 6 teams are undefeated, and any of those 6 teams could win the state championship for sure. And Orange Beach is undefeated as well at 2-0. We go to 5A, UMS Wright leads. Those are 2 perennial state powers that are right there. Ramsey has another great football team. Gunnersville is good. Moody is one of their better teams they've had in a while. Pleasant Grove, we know about them. Gulf Shores lost a very, very hard-fought game to UMS Wright. Viger, the defending state champions. You follow an ARAB, that's another loaded division.
Meanwhile, in UMS Wright and Viger play on Friday. That'll be a very good game in Class 6A. Clay Chalkville, one of the top teams in the state. Mountain Brook, we had them a few weeks ago. as they dominated their game against Minor. Those are the top two teams in 6A, but you know, you got Gardendale in there. Pinson Valley gave Clay Chalkville all they could handle last Friday night.
Yeah, they really did, and showed they belong in this top 10. You know, Mountain Brook was very impressive. Haven't seen Saraland this year, but they, you know, traditionally have had good programs ever since they've been a school system. They say this is as good a Hillcrest team out of Tuscaloosa as they've had in a long time. Hartselle is a perennial power. Theodore always play good football. Gardendale, another really good team. A couple of really good prospects there. Muscle Shoals, always tough. Benjamin Russell, they've got it going this year. And now this gets to Class 7A. Auburn at number 1. We talked about that earlier. They got that huge matchup with Opelika coming up. We're going to see Thompson and Clay Chalkville next Friday night. And of course, that Region 3 where they all have to beat up on each other, which will be pretty important.
We'll take a break and return. Second half kickoff coming up from Crampton Bowl in Montgomery.
The perfect checking account doesn't exist. Not at a bank, that is. So why do you keep looking there? At AmFirst, you can get no minimum balance or monthly fees, an instant issue debit card, and free checks with unlimited check writing. But who doesn't want more? Like a rewards program you'll actually use, and convenient digital tools that make it easy to manage your account from anywhere. Now you could try and find that at a bank, or you could save yourself the trouble by checking with us.
I need the King boys.
Don't call two clowns in a tow truck when you're dreaming of them King boys.
It's the end of summer payment vacation happening now at Sarah Nissan of Sylacauga. Summer may be coming to an end, but your payments can still take a vacation. Make no payments until the end of the year and get 1.9% APR financing during the end of summer payment vacation sales event happening now online at SarahNissanOfSylacauga.com and at Sarah Nissan of Sylacauga, located just off Highway 280 at Sylacauga. Credit approval may require money down. 1.9% for 60 months at $17.48 per $1,000 finance. Regardless of down payment, visit dealer for details.
Sylacauga's best kept secret? No more. Harvey's on Noble is the place to go for the area's best food and drinks. Whether you're in the mood for steak, burgers, salad, seafood, or dessert, Harvey's on Noble will not disappoint, and the atmosphere is perfect for catching the big game or just relaxing after work. Harvey's is open for dinner Wednesday through Saturdays, so round up the family and we'll see you at Harvey's on Noble, downtown Sylacauga.
And halftime wrapping up here at Crampton Bowl. You see our halftime score. The Auburn Tigers leading Lee Montgomery. 7A Region 2 matchup tonight. The Tigers undefeated at 4-0 coming into this one. Lee Montgomery 0-3. This game is pretty much played out about the way you would have thought it would be played out on paper. They don't play the game on paper, of course, Coach. We're playing the game on the field. So we're going to take a look at our first half highlights, and it wasn't a great start for Lee Montgomery.
No, the errant snap that is going to be covered in the end zone for a safety. Nice defensive play here by Lee, stopping this screen pass. And Lee showed a lot of spit and vinegar early. Had something going, but this is going to be an errant option play. It's going to be picked up, and Auburn will be off to the races again.
Coleman Granberry, the linebacker, returning that fumble for a touchdown. And I tell you, McGrew was under duress a lot in that first half. The young man made some great throws, but he also was under a lot of pressure. And this is D.V. Williams, the Auburn tailback, who is an outstanding player, Coach, and he had a couple of rushing touchdowns in that first half.
Yeah, and you see the strength of the Auburn offensive line, a couple of pancake blocks there. But Lee will have their moments. There's blitz pressure right there that comes on, but beautiful throw right here by Harson on the fade route. Those right over the outside shoulder, just like you're supposed to. Interception picked off here for yet another Auburn score.
And then this is Williams getting the great block there, paving the way for his second rushing touchdown. And McGrew started kind of threw some bad balls there late in the first half, and Auburn made him pay.
another interception there. And then this is the little flip screen out there to get us to 37-0.
And we'll come back with a second half kickoff from Crampton Bowl here at the AHSAA Thursday night game of the week.
Retirement planning, investment planning, education planning, ad valorem, blah, 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 blah. Financial planners love to show their version of a perfect retirement, but what about your perfect retirement? At AmFirst Financial, we'll get to know you first, so we can make a plan for the person you'll be years from now, and future you will be glad we planned ahead. So call AmFirst Financial today. You'll thank you later.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Alabama. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the AHSAA.
Siliconga's best kept secret? No more. Harvey's on Noble is the place to go for the area's best food and drinks. Whether you're in the mood for steak, burgers, salad, seafood, or dessert, Harvey's on Noble will not disappoint, and the atmosphere is perfect for catching the big game or just relaxing after work. Harvey's is open for dinner Wednesday through Saturdays, so round up the family and we'll see you at Harvey's on Noble, downtown Silicaga.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Alabama, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
And Auburn coach Keith Etheridge sees his team pitching a shutout here at halftime, 37-0. By the way, their defense pitched a shutout last week, 31-0 over Jeff Davis, as we are getting set for the second half. This is the 16th meeting between these two teams. Auburn leads the series 11-4. Last meeting was in 2019. Lee Montgomery actually won that matchup 19-14, but it is all Auburn so far tonight.
And I don't know whether Coach Etheridge pulled an Erskine Russell or not. The famous Georgia and Georgia Southern coach that used to go bull in the ring, but he's got a little cut on his nose right there. I don't know whether they, you know, that was the first game I ever saw in the South. Went up to Auburn, and I didn't know who Erskine Russell was, and he got those Georgia Bulldogs around him, and they did bull in the ring, and he was the bull in the ring. And I turned to my wife after they got done warming up, because he had blood pouring down his head. I said, I think Auburn's in for a rough day. And they were. And I would not recommend that, Mickey. You know, but on the other side, of course, not an easy halftime for Coach Everett and his young team, but there are some positives to accentuate, and you want to eliminate those mistakes. And of course, the thing you want to look for and want to teach your young team right now is, guys, you just keep playing hard.
This is a football program that has won 5 state championships. They were in the semifinals back in 2018, lost a close one to Central Phoenix City. But it is a rough beginning to this season, as they're 0-3 and trailing big here on the Sarah Automotive Kickoff.
Started the half with an onside kick to try to jumpstart something. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, there aren't many football programs in the country that have a better tradition than Lee High School. It goes way back. Of course, I first came to Alabama in the late 60s, early 70s, and that was in one of their heydays. That was a big red machine back then. Goes way back.
So Auburn 1st and 10 at the 47. Senior quarterback Clyde Pittman
Wouldn't be a bit surprised to see Auburn try to get one on the board here early and then let some younger guys play.
Pittman rolling out. Will keep it. And will spin his way up to around midfield. Taken off his feet there by Jalen Moore.
And a little combination route to his right. Tried to clear out the deep zone and then high-low the flat defender. Lee defended it pretty well, and Pittman did well just to not lose a bunch of yardage and to pick up 4.
2nd down and 6. This is Williams. Big hole over the left side into the secondary. He's got an Amherst first down to the 23-yard line. Chased down from behind by Julius Johnson.
I tell you, that Williams really does a great job of not only following his blockers, but working the width of the hole. You know, he always puts himself in position where he is close as he can possibly be to the guy that can't make the tackle, and as far away as he can be from a guy that can make the tackle. That may not make a lot of sense, but that's called missing by the smallest margin, and he's really good at it.
Pittman has the pass deflected and almost picked off at around the 12-yard line by number 27, Dylan Baker.
Yeah, if you're going to boot and roll to your left, you've got to get enough depth to where you can get downhill and square your shoulders. And that time, Pittman was just running lateral to the line of scrimmage. It's really impossible to throw the ball accurately from that angle. And very fortunate that didn't get his arm or shoulder damaged a little bit right there, because that arm got hit as he was throwing.
2nd down and 10. 9 men in the box this time for the Generals, but Williams is going to go in untouched for his 3rd rushing touchdown. The Harvey's on Noble touchdown coming early here in the 3rd quarter as the Tigers extend their lead.
Yeah, really well blocked again, and really a perfect example of what I just talked about. You know, if we get the replay here, you're going to see that Williams is going to watch him stay to the outside of the hole where he knows he has a block, and that inside defender that's chasing him just can't make up the ground. And that is missing by the smallest margin, and he really, really is good at it. Well, I think that's probably exactly what Coach Etheridge talked about at halftime. Let's get one quick on the board, and I would not be a bit surprised if we don't see some younger players here.
44-0, Auburn with the lead as Williams with his 3rd rushing touchdown, his 7th rushing touchdown of the season. Lee Montgomery coming with the run blitz that time, and good job by that Auburn offensive line handling that.
Yeah, that young man's fun to watch run the football. He's a very, very talented guy. Be interesting to see how, you know, Auburn is going to have a lot of suitors for that #1 spot in 7A. And, you know, you've got 3 in Region 3 that all think that they're as good as anybody in the state. They've got Opelika coming up. I mean, this is going to be a relatively easy night for them, but they got some tough ones coming. I mean, they'll play Opelika, they'll play Central Phoenix City. That's just to get out of their region. And
already played and beat Hoover, the AHSAA kickoff game right here at Crampton Bowl. And they've already beaten Dothan. Zara Automotive kickoff bounces off the face mask of the Lee return man, and he is going to be taken down inside the 5-yard line. And that was number 83, Ashton Walker, on the return. And here's a look at this 7A Region 2. Again, you know, a lot of talk about Region 3. Well, this is a pretty stacked Region 2.
I would say. I mean, you've got, what, 4 of their top 5 that are in the top 10 in the state. I think Auburn, Opelika, Central, and Enterprise are all in the top 10. So, yeah, that's not a bad region, Mickey.
And then you got Prattville,
yep,
Smith Station. A lot of recognizable names in that group. And this is the handoff to Dees, and he is going nowhere. Stopped right at the line of scrimmage as the Auburn defensive front winning the battle on that play.
Well, and of course, what Coach Everett wants to see is he wants to see his young team continue to play hard, to get some drives going, to get out here with as good a feeling as he can. Obviously, he doesn't like being down 44-0. That goes without saying, but he wants to try to get some positives to build on.
McGrew takes this snap from his own end zone. Passes away, and it is incomplete. They're going to get Auburn for pass interference, though, and it was not a necessary penalty because the ball was not catchable.
Yeah, I don't know whether the receiver was pushed down or whether he just fell, but Graham Young was the guy that I think was closest and may have had a hand on him.
Pass interference on the defense.
Yeah, that's a hand around the waist with the ball in the air.
The old hand around the waist, turning the receiver.
Pass interference.
It normally is.
Results first down.
It normally is not acceptable, Mickey.
Not tonight at Crampton Bowl for sure.
Nope.
Gives the Generals a first down at the 17, which means McGrew can take this snap from outside of his own end zone. Little misdirection. This is Sanders, and he is grabbed by the jersey by Deuce White, the junior defensive lineman.
Yeah, tried to use some formation shifts to get an advantage. Looked like the play was going to develop for maybe bigger yards than it was by that big young man right there. Had Sanders by the jersey and spun him around about 3 times to wait for his buddies to get there and held it to just a 3-yard gain.
Second down and 7. McGrew looking to throw. Goes up top, and it is incomplete. Almost picked that time by Andre Emilius, the junior defensive back, 6'3", 185.
Yeah, McGrew has been pretty effective throwing the ball short, but when he's trying to throw the ball deep now, he's thrown in a lot of double coverage, a lot of times into occupied zones. He's going to have to improve on that.
And a tough down here for the Generals, 3rd and 7. Tiger defensive front has put a lot of pressure on McGrew, especially in that second quarter. They come after him here. McGrew escapes the pocket, lobs it downfield, incomplete. Sanders the closest to it, and that will bring up 4th down.
Yeah, ran that little twist that they've run so effectively all night, and then also added on, looked like the edge defender from the field that when his back blocked, he came on, and that was enough to force the movement out of the pocket by McGrew, and ended up just having to throw the ball away.
So another punting situation for the Generals as Miller will check in. Short punt. And it will roll dead at around the 40-yard line, as where the Tigers will take over with a 44-0 lead. And we'd like to welcome our CTV Beam viewers on SD Channel 79 and HD Channel 286. Auburn takes back over, and you see backup quarterback checking into the game. That is Davis Harsin. Had a good first half while he was in the game. Had that beautiful touchdown pass for the Tigers in that second quarter where he connected with Nation. First down at the Lee 46. And here's the handoff to Flakes. Flakes breaks a tackle and will be taken down inside the 10-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal after the first down.
It looks like a clone of Williams right here. It's that off tackle play again. Nice job of getting upfield. Shows a little speed once he gets in the secondary.
Auburn back in that AFS red zone. 1st and goal at the 6. Arson. And the touchdown here for LaMichael Gunn.
It's that same off tackle play that Williams scored on a couple plays ago. You can see very well blocked on the right side. Makes one man miss and walks into the end zone.
So the second week in a row that this Lee Montgomery defense has given up 50 points. They lost 51-7 last week to Opelika. And if McGow can connect on the Sonny King extra point, which he does, that puts 51 on the board for Auburn, and we're just halfway through the 3rd quarter. And that'll take us to our 3rd quarter timeout. It is all Auburn at Crampton Bowl. 51-zip over Lee Montgomery.
I was in a car accident. My front tooth cracked. I'm definitely embarrassed to smile. I got mini dental implants. It changed my life because it made me feel like me. Like I can smile and feel like Ashley. I just want to say thank you.
You can be you again with mini dental implants. I'm Dr. Rick Redmond. Call me today for a free consultation and give me the opportunity to change your life.
I'm more than happy. I'm ecstatic.
And we peek into the Auburn sidelines here at Crampton Bowl, and it kind of looked like me and you dissecting highlights here, Coach.
Yes, except we don't have helmets on.
But, no, we don't.
No, that's quite a setup that high school football has now. A lot of people don't use the big screen anymore. They go with all iPads, but you can see Auburn's got some of both. There's a couple of iPads on the right-hand side and the big screen as well, and they're very attentive. And as we said earlier, it's a long way from the old chalk and blackboard.
McGow's Sarah automotive kick sails out of bounds inside the 5. That'll be a penalty against the Auburn Tigers, and the Generals will come out and set up shop with some good field position after the penalty. And
on the kicking table. 1st down.
So a very subdued call there by a referee.
Yes, it was.
That's the 51-0 3rd quarter voice.
Very, very mellow. Now, if you're a Lee General right now, you just want to have something good happen. Again, you got to play it. Just got to play one play at a time. Can't worry about the score. Nothing you can do about the score right now. You just got to take care of business. You want to get 4 yards on 1st down, and then tack on a 1st down somewhere in this drive, then get another one.
McGrew handing off to Dees. He fights forward for 2 or 3. So as a longtime coach, you've been on both sides of this. Obviously, I'm not going to ask you which side you'd prefer to be on.
Well, I hadn't been on the minus side of 51-0 very much. I mean,
well, actually, yeah. So, but obviously, this is a game where you just got to quit looking at the scoreboard, right? I mean, it's not about that anymore.
I mean, the important thing is that gentleman right there, he's got to keep coaching. He's got to show his guys how to fight through adversity and keep coaching and try to be as positive as he can. You got to coach it like it's nothing. And then you're looking for guys that are going to play hard.
McGrew slings it downfield.
I mean, it's obvious that Lee is outmanned. I mean, this is a very young football team playing against a team that's ranked #1 in the state. I mean, I don't think anybody, thought this was going to be a Lee victory unless the stars aligned in a very, very spectacular way.
Well, your blueprint to victory, the first thing you said was they got to play the best game of the year.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And frankly, even if they did that, Auburn would have to play probably their worst game of the year. But you still are looking for positive signs. You want that young man right there to run his team and just show some toughness that can lead to some wins, down the road.
3rd down and 7. Comes the pressure by Auburn, and McGrew is going to be sacked again back at the 33.
Mickey, one of the things that football teaches you, and you well know this, as we look at Lanier's schedule that they have left, and there's some winnable games on there. There's some tough ones too, but that nothing is forever. I mean, because you're not as good as you want to be today doesn't mean you can't be good tomorrow, and you just fight through it. You just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and that's what one of the big lessons is in this wonderful game. And there's some wins down the road for this team if they can just keep their head about them and just keep plugging away. And you can see it looks to me like Coach Everett is trying to do just that on the sideline, just coaching really hard.
And the punt will take a Lee roll down at the 30, where it is down by Tormund LaPrade.
And I'll say this too, just to finish my thought. I mean, it's easy to sit here watching the game 51-0. I'm not the guy, in the red helmet that's getting pounded on. I mean, it's very easy to just throw up your hands and say, well, what the heck? But you just can't do it. You just can't do it. You got to have enough belief in what you're doing that at some point you're going to get things turned around, and there's going to be a better day.
New quarterback is in the game. This is Jackson Kilgore, the sophomore, 6', 155. Taking his first snap of the game, and he hands off to Flakes. Flakes with a good surge out across the 40 to the 41, and that is another first down as the Tigers, after not much offensive production in that first quarter, they've been a juggernaut here.
Yeah, they've churned them out.
Second quarter on.
Yeah, that offensive line has ground up the Lee defense pretty well, and I don't know how many yards they have on the ground, but they got a bunch.
When you got your 3rd string quarterback in the game in the 3rd quarter, it's going good.
Yeah, it's going real good. Well, either that or it's going real bad.
Yeah, but just thinking the same thing. We won't talk about that. This is Flakes. Stop for maybe a half-yard gain. Good play there by the Lee defense. Keyshawn Marbury in on the tackle.
We've got Lee a couple more times this year, and it's going to be interesting to see how they develop as the year goes on. It's kind of sometimes fun to watch young football teams fight through adversity and grow, and who knows, a game that's tough like this can lead to good things down the road.
2nd down and 10. This is Davis, or Cody Palmer, I should say. Short gain's going to set up a 3rd down and 6 for the Tigers as we are under 2 minutes of play here in this 3rd quarter.
Lots of young players for Auburn now, which is what we thought we'd see.
And with 2 tough games coming with Ramsey next week and then Opelika the following week, Coach Etheridge can rest some of his key players here for the rest of the way. This is Flakes, huge hole, and he gets past the Lee secondary, and he is going to have his 2nd rushing touchdown of the night, the Harvey's on Noble touchdown for the Tigers.
Yeah, there was just no secondary support to that side of the field. Once he broke the line of scrimmage, there wasn't a black shirt within sight. As you look here to the left of your screen, you can see once he gets right here, the corner is occupied. There's no safety fill, no linebacker scrape, and the results are pretty predictable right there, and yet another Auburn score.
Auburn's largest point output of the season. And the Sonny King extra point. McGow hooked it, but he did get it through that left upright.
Kind of snuck that one in.
58-0 lead for the Tigers. And we mentioned Auburn's played a pretty tough schedule already. We mentioned they opened with Hoover in a game you didn't hear at the HSA kickoff. Then Enterprise was a tough game. They knocked off Dothan in week 3, Jeff Davis last week, and then they go back home for 2 tough ones. Ramsey, one of the top 10 teams in 5A. Then, of course, the big showdown with Opelika, then Central, Prattville, Smith Station. So, there's no easy game left on this schedule.
I tell you what, they've got 4, and I'm not discounting Smith Station, but they got 4 weeks in a row now. By the time they get to Prattville, they're going to be what's the old Southern saying, saucered and blowed, and they're definitely going to get their oil checked. There's no doubt about that. Opelika, Central, back-to-back will be tough. Ramsey is a good 5A team, and I'd like to know where that Prattville game is going to be played. That's a pretty tough schedule. And then come playoff time, of course, nothing easy about that. So it's like it is for every team in Alabama. The further you go, the tougher it gets.
And a touchback here for the Tigers, and Lee Montgomery's offense will take the field with 55 seconds to play here in this third quarter. Coach Etheridge's team, we mentioned they're 4-0 coming in, 3-0 in the region. The 10-point game with Enterprise, that was a tough game.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, the Hoover game was only a 3-point win. So they've already been tested. And more tests to come. They swing it out here. And nice yardage after the catch for Gerald Bonner out across the 30.
Yeah, good tough running by Bonner. Broke a tackle and got upfield.
And that will be an Amherst first down for Lee. And McGrew with the handoff. And not much running room this time for Bonner. And that could be the final play of the third quarter. And it indeed will. That'll take us to the end of the third. It is all Auburn tonight at Crampton Bowl. The Tigers with a 58-0 lead. Fourth quarter coming up on the AHSAA Game of the Week, presented by Amherst.
The perfect checking account doesn't exist. Not at a bank, that is. So why do you keep looking there? At Amherst, you can get no minimum balance or monthly fees, an instant issue debit card, and free checks with unlimited check writing. But who doesn't want more? Like a rewards program you'll actually use, and convenient digital tools that make it easy to manage your account from anywhere. Now you could try and find that at a bank, or you could save yourself the trouble by checking with us.
Uncle Marcus, will you tell us the story about King Boys again?
Sure. Well, it all started back in 2008.
2008?
We didn't have all the fancy towing equipment we do now, but we did have a service and a desire to help our customers. You see, kids, you must train your mind and your body to be able to help the people you call customer. When they call on us, it's showtime. Understand me. King Boys' mission is to help when people are in need. So what's our motto, children?
King Boys forever!
It's the end of summer payment vacation, happening now at Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Summer may be coming to an end, but your payments can still take a vacation. Make no payments until the end of the year and get 1.9% APR financing during the end of summer payment vacation sales event, happening now online at TonySarahFord.com and at Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga on Highway 280 in Sylacauga. With the other preferred lender, credit approval may require money down. 1.9% for 60 months at $17.48 per 1,000 finance, regardless of down payment. Visit dealer for details.
Back with you from Crampton Bowl. Hey, next week, Thursday Night Lights steps out of region play for a top 10 matchup between Anniston, ranked in the top 10 in Class 4A, Piedmont, ranked number 1 in Class 3A. These two teams, both from Calhoun County, should be quite an interesting matchup at the Field of Champions in Piedmont. We'll have it for you live right here on WOTM and the AHSAA Thursday Night Network. 7 o'clock kickoff. Really looking forward to that matchup.
Two really good teams, and it'll be a great atmosphere, too. Really will.
We start the fourth quarter with a flag.
That ball. Encroachment on the defense. Still second down.
So 5-yard penalty against Tiger defense. McGrew steps up. Receiver open, connects with him at the 48 for the Amherst first down. On the reception that time, Johnny Darby.
It's a really nice field awareness by McGrew this time. Comes off his fake, has to step up, but notice he's got that crossing route. And a nice job by Darby of avoiding that man coverage and making a nice over-the-top catch.
And on the little swing pass, once again to Gerald Bonner. He advances the football forward for a gain of 5. A play that we have seen several times out of the Lee playbook tonight.
They like to swing that ball back out of the backfield. Looks like Bonner's a little gimpy over on that sideline.
Call it a gain of 4, 2nd and 6 as they spotted it at the 43. And they get it to Darby. Nice execution as the Auburn defense went for the fake. And so Lee on the move here, and you know, Coach, they'd love to get that goose egg off the score.
Oh, absolutely. You know, ran the little counter action up front, pulled both the guard and the tackle from right to left, and then hit the little RPO to the outside, and good running after the catch as well.
Same play, but this time it's intercepted down at the 5-yard line by Auburn's Sean Lawhorn. Another Lee turnover.
Well, you know, the worst thing that a quarterback can do is to try to make something out of nothing. And, you know, to try to improvise or just try to do too much. You know, you got to kind of let the game come to you a little bit. This is the same play that they ran earlier, but he tried to double clutch it, and you can see that his receiver, Sanders, is deep over the top for a touchdown, but tried to hurry the throw, underthrew it, and the result was the play was intercepted. I don't know how many picks that is now. We don't have a running total right here, but that's a bunch. I would think it'd be close to 4.
Tigers take back over inside their 10-yard line. And a nice run this time by LaMichael Gunn.
Yeah, they've really hurt Lee running the ball wide and running off tackle. But every time they've run those plays, they've had big success. You like Auburn's uniforms? I've never liked blue and black together very much, but they make it look pretty good.
Hard to argue with 58-0, no matter what you're wearing.
Well, that's an excellent point. But are you saying that if it was Lee 58, Auburn nothing, you wouldn't like them near as much?
Well, you know, hey, who knows?
It's hard for me to get used to Lee in their black jerseys. Of course, I remember the good old days of George Pugh, Ralph Stokes, Lee Gross, Cedric McIntyre. That was red and white. That was it.
2nd down and 9. You can tell the Tigers milking as much of the clock as they can between each play. This time the quarterback keeps. And nice gain for the 3rd-string quarterback, Jackson Kilgore.
Little zone read. You know, I remember when I first came to Montgomery in the '60s, late '60s, and I was with my father-in-law. We were driving down Madison Avenue, and we noticed all these people lined up outside of Crampton Bowl. I said, "What is going on, Pop? What are they doing?" He says, "They're getting tickets to the Lee Lanier game." Of course, that game wasn't until November. But they were buying tickets in August because Crampton Bowl sold out.
On the defense.
I wish everyone could
first down.
could hear what when you look at this stadium and you start, as you were doing with me earlier, you start pointing to this point on the field, this point in the stand, this point outside the stadium, all these things you remember from all these different.
No, I'd tell you, it's a great old venue. You know, it used to be a minor league baseball field, and it was a pretty cool looking baseball field. And the first game I ever saw there was Troy against Willamette, Oregon in 1968. Sim Bird spun the ball through the air like very few could, and those poor guys from Oregon, they don't know what, they still to this day don't know what hit them. And the red wave rolled that night. Yeah, I spent a lot of times in my younger years watching and coaching in that stadium right there. It's really legendary.
And who could forget the blue-gray game?
Used to love that because everybody wore their own helmets. And you kind of tell who was who. And
well, despite the fact that none of these young men need a break, we've got our fourth quarter mandatory heat timeout. Back to Crampton Bowl in a moment.
Are you ready for some football? Then WOTM is the place for you. On Thursday nights at 7 p.m., veteran broadcaster Mickey Shadrick and former high school state champion and collegiate national champion Coach Rick Rhodes bring you live coverage of the AHSAA TV Network Game of the Week, presented by AmFirst. Friday nights at 7 p.m., it's the TV24 Game of the Week, presented by Sonny King Ford. And the action continues Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. with an encore presentation. Drummond's Company, Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, right here on WOTM.
And we're back at Crampton Bowl, and I tried to get Coach to take this promo for us because of all of his Troy connections. But
well, I'll say welcome to the Troy cable viewers on HD Channel 259.
There you go.
It's good to have you with us tonight.
Of course, Troy not too far down the road from us here at Crampton Bowl.
Not long at all, not far at all.
High snap, handled well. Handoff up the middle.
You know, I was thinking of all the games that I saw at Crampton Bowl. I'll tell you one that I think would stand out. Of course, Robert E. Lee won the state championship in 1970 at a great football team. And they played Jefferson Davis, which was a new high school in Montgomery at that time. They were called the Volunteers because they came from the other schools there. And it was the first time that Lee and Jeff Davis played each other. Probably about 18,000 people at that game. And the Jeff Davis coach was Billy Livings, who great football coach. He had a stopwatch. And he kept it on the sideline, and they didn't snap the ball until there was only about 4 seconds left on every snap of that game, and the game ended up 12-0.
Wow.
And Lee was probably 4 or 5 touchdowns better on paper, but he managed that clock, and J.D. had a chance to win the game. And, of course, that was the beginning of a very, very intense rivalry between those two schools.
A lot of new faces for both teams in here now as we are under 5 minutes to play.
Yeah, I think some of these guys, they just got on a trade for a couple of draft picks. I'm not sure. Hadn't seen this formation too much from Auburn tonight.
Nope. Tigers actually have to line up and punt for the first time. It'll roll inside the 25, down at about the 24. Actually, they did punt on their first possession.
They did.
believe it or not, the first quarter, Lee Montgomery actually outgained Auburn in total yardage, but was down 16-0 at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, they had a great drive to start the game, and really some nice plays and really some tough luck. Got them in the hole, and then just too much Auburn. Well, this one has gone about the way that Coach Etheridge wanted it to. After a little bit of a rough start, they really hit their stride. Looks like they're going to come out of it injury-free.
McGrew still in there and still throwing it. Connects with Sanders out at the 36, out to the 40-yard line.
Nice throw by that young man. Not an easy throw to throw that ball all the way across the field. Had some zip on it. Impressive.
McGrew will be sore tomorrow.
Sanders has had a good night catching the ball. He's made some plays.
McGrew has taken his share of hits and a couple of times has limped off the field, but has hung in there tonight. Here he scrambles out of the pocket and comes forward for a short gain before he steps out of bounds at about the 44.
And that's one of the things that the coach Everett will point out, that instead of forcing the ball up late, pull it down, run, get some positive yardage. He's able to pick up a first down. It's part of the growth of a quarterback right there.
Low snap, McGrew handles it, steps up in the pocket, feels the pressure, lobs it downfield, and it's caught in stride at the 20. Sanders on the reception. Tackled there by Auburn Demir Garrett, but a nice play that gets them in the AFS red zone.
Yeah, big rush that time by Caleb Pitts coming from the bottom of your screen. Good job by McGrew of stepping it up and putting the ball right on the money. Beautiful play.
So again, Lee would love to get that 0 off the scoreboard, and they've got an opportunity here. They've got all 3 of their timeouts. First down at the 11-yard line. McGrew's pass is caught at the 5 by Sanders. He steps out of bounds, and that will stop the clock. Of course, Auburn with backups at every position on the field defensively. Second down and 4. Tigers bring some extra defenders. Handoff right up the middle, and Lee will get into the end zone for the first time tonight. That is Javarion Rogers with the Harveys on Noble touchdown.
Well, right up the chute, good blocking right between the guards, and good straight ahead running by that young man right there. And Lee does get on the board. Watch the blocking inside, wrap around with the right guard, and really nobody for him to block.
So the Generals on the scoreboard, looking to add to it with the Sonny King extra point. And Miller bangs it through, makes it 58-7. You know, we mentioned, Coach, this is our second trip to Crampton Bowl in the first 4 weeks of the season. You actually were a part of the broadcast crew that did this game, Auburn and Hoover, in the AHSAA kickoff on Friday night, the opening week.
Yeah, Auburn jumped out to a really big lead, and Hoover came back with the block kick, and then a nice run right here by Williams to really look like the game was going to go the other way, but a clutch field goal is going to give Auburn the victory and a big win to start the year.
And 4 weeks later, Coach Etheridge's team is sitting at 4-0, about to be 5-0.
And looks every bit like the #1 team in the state tonight.
I think one of the strengths of the team for the Tigers is that offensive line, Coach. We mentioned Braden Joyner, the highly recruited lineman that is committed to the Auburn Tigers. They've also got some other big guys up there that do a great job.
Yeah, they really do. And the thing that impresses me about Auburn's team is there's really no weakness. I mean they're really good in every unit that they have. You saw McGow, their kicker, with the clutch field goal to beat Hoover. Their special teams have been good. They get really great quarterback play. Of course, the running back we've talked about. So they have a stable of them. Their defense was very impressive against Hoover. And of course, this offensive line is, about as good as there is around.
Well, they call holding on this kick return. 51 seconds to play.
I have nothing to say about that. Mickey, how about you? You have any additional comment on that?
No, just thought I'd mention it.
Holding call with 51 seconds left.
Coach Etheridge not even upset about that one.
He just.
And there's everyone's favorite formation. Auburn Tigers are going to improve to 5-0, 4-0 in 7A Region 2 play with back-to-back home games coming up. And remind you, next Thursday Night Lights heads to Calhoun County, the north end of the county, the Field of Champions in Piedmont, as the Bulldogs will host another set of Bulldogs from just down the road at Anniston, who, by the way, are ranked in the top 10 in Class 4A. The Bulldogs off to a great start this season, one of the best teams they've had in a number of years at Anniston High School, so we look forward to that matchup next week. Congratulations to the Auburn Tigers, victorious tonight at Crampton Bowl, 58-7 over Lee Montgomery. We will take a break, come back to Crampton Bowl, put a wrap on things on the AHSAA Game of the Week presented by AmFirst.
Mr. President, Bessemer Superhighway is backed up. What are we going to do?
Are you serious? Get me the King Boys.
King Boys Towing is the fastest growing tow and recovery company in Birmingham and surrounding areas for one reason. Our customers are our top priority. Whether your car has been in an accident, is stuck in the driveway and won't start, or you just need a tow to your preferred repair shop, give us a call. Our fleet of flatbed tow trucks will provide courteous and fast service. King Boys Towing, 205-428-3235.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Alabama, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
A funeral service represents a family's final farewell to their loved ones. Knowing this, we go beyond what is expected to ensure the ceremony is beautiful and memorable, a truly fitting tribute to that special life. We invite you to visit us to meet our staff and tour our renovated facility complete with a new dining area and catering services. We've been serving the people of this area for over 40 years, and we think that you'll be pleased to find that making lasting impressions remains our first priority. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg.
Well, I doubt the Auburn Tigers will lose any first-place votes in Class 7A after their performance tonight. They come into Crampton Bowl here in Montgomery, and they defeat Lee Montgomery by a final of 58-7. It wasn't a pretty start for Auburn. They were up 16-0 at the end of the first quarter, but they had not played that well. But boy, from that second quarter on, they really got it going, especially in their running game behind that offensive line. Their defense began to pressure McGrew, the Lee Montgomery quarterback, forced him into some turnovers.
Yeah, and that's really the story of the game right there. That big offensive line was able to get a great push. They got those turnovers. They took advantage of every single turnover and ended up just really steamrolling a very young but gritty Lee Montgomery football team.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights, Coach. We begin in the first half. This is kind of the rough start for Lee. It started with the safety as the snap went right past the quarterback, and Auburn jumped up top 2-0. And then here is Williams, who had a pretty good game, even though he fumbled here, but his lineman was able to jump back on it. And then this was a huge play because this was Lee's best drive of the game. It looked like they might take it in and score. Instead, it goes back the other way, a fumble return.
You notice the fumble occurs on the 27-yard line. I mean, Lee had a really nice drive going. Of course, Auburn, we saw against Hoover earlier in the year, has a great pass rush. Take advantage of it then, and then just that great blocking up front, and Williams will do the rest of it. If you watch the left of the screen here, you can see 1-2 knockdowns right there as Williams goes in for another score.
3 rushing touchdowns on the night for Williams. There we see some pressure there. But then Harsin with the great pass to Nation here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and there was really no looking back after that. Here's another one that's going to set up yet another score. Play fairly well executed, just can't make the catch, and Auburn takes advantage of it, and Williams into the end zone yet again.
And then Lee here, another poor decision there by McGrew, another pick by the Auburn secondary.
Yeah, you can see 2 guys could have intercepted it. Auburn will make short work of this. Every turnover they got, they took advantage of, got a big lead at halftime, and then really just kind of sailed the rest of the way. I think this is Williams' last carry of the night. But the onslaught really won't stop once he is out of the game. Other guys come in, and they're equally as effective.
And this is the big run by Flakes as he just takes it to the house. Again, just a dominant effort running the football tonight for Auburn. And then another one of those interceptions, one of several by that Auburn secondary. And then finally Lee Montgomery breaks through with a touchdown late in the fourth.
They will get on the board late for a little bit of a moral, not victory, but a little bit better feeling. And end result is a big win for Auburn, and I'm sure they'll keep their #1 ranking.
Absolutely impressive tonight. 58-7 the final score as Auburn the runaway winner tonight. And our big-time entertainment player of the game, D.V. Williams, had a big-time game. He came in with averaging right at 8 yards a carry. Had scored 4 touchdowns on the season through the first 4 games. He scored 3 tonight.
Yeah, I don't think he hurt that average per carry tonight either. He had a big night and very deserving player.
So congratulations to D.V. Williams, our big-time entertainment player of the game. And, of course, kudos to that big offensive line that seems to get the job done week in and week out, paving the way for Williams and the other Auburn rushers. There you see the Auburn Tigers still on the field at Crampton Bowl after being addressed by their head coach, Keith Etheridge, as they will take the short drive back to Auburn from Montgomery tonight and then get ready for 2 big home games. They step out of region play next Friday night against Ramsey, one of the top teams in Class 5A. And then the key for them, Coach, I think next week will be not looking ahead to who's coming to Auburn the next week, which is Opelika.
Absolutely. And, of course, the other thing that they've got to keep an eye on is, that injury bug. It's always a factor every season, and they want to keep their team well. Of course, this is like a pretty deep football team. I mean, they've got good players up and down their roster, but the injury factor will be part of it. They're getting into the meat of their schedule. There's no doubt about it.
I think you said something earlier that really stands out and bears repeating, that this is a very complete Auburn team. You really would be hard pressed to find a weakness, wouldn't you, in this team?
I really don't see one. I mean, they really are very sound at every position. Their schemes on both sides of the ball are really good, there's not a unit that you look at and you say, well, they need more speed there, they need more size, or they're kind of inexperienced. You don't say that about anything. It's just a veteran football team that I think is pretty hungry. I don't think they've forgotten 2 years ago when they had one just slip out of their hands. And they, those guys were sophomores then. They're seniors now. They'd like to go back and have another chance to bring that blue map home to Auburn. And, they're in good shape at the all-important quarterback position. Pittman, the senior starter, but then Harsin, the junior, comes in. They really don't drop off at all. So you got to feel good if you're Coach Etheridge to be solid at that position. And they got two good ones there. Yeah, they really do. And if you go to the other side of the ball, Hoover is a very, very talented offensive unit, and had some really good players coming back, and they gave them lots of problems schematically in their first game. So they've got good players, good schemes. Obviously, their head coach is proven he's won really everywhere he's been. So they're going to be in it the whole way for sure. But there's lots of good teams in Alabama. Well, the Tigers roll tonight at Crampton Bowl, 58-7 over Lee Montgomery as they head back home for a big matchup next week against Ramsey. Then the big showdown in 7A Region 2 with Opelika the following week. So thanks for tuning in tonight to the AHSAA Game of the Week presented by AmFirst. We'll see you again next Thursday from Piedmont. Battle of the Bulldogs, Anniston and Piedmont. See you next Thursday.